This time I want to talk about the use and the abuse of the word equality. It's a must for colour and for gender and for religion. But face the facts of life. We're equal only some of the time. We're unequal most of the time, and we're different always. If you demand more than that, if you pitch have-nots against haves, then you have class war and some terrible consequences, and it's not good for education either. Why do we lurch from one mess-up to another, each one worse than the one before? Special educational needs is a small mess-up. Understanding how and why this happened may help you to understand bigger ones, especially in education. I know that many people blame inequality. It's much more obvious now than it ever was, and very unfair. They then feel that they have to promote the idea of equality. However, as I argue elsewhere, equality is very divisive, pitching have-nots who want more against haves who do not want to have less. Equality has a terrible provenance which many totally forget. After Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité of the French Revolution came the Bloody Terror, the guillotine. After the Russian Revolution came the Gulag, purges, and the massacre of millions. And after that, anyone who owned anything in Germany ran scared of a Russian-style revolution in their country and embraced Nazism, National Socialism, with its own racially perverted version of equality. Orwell saw the problem, of course. All people are equal, but some are always more equal than others. Correspondingly, there will always be people far less equal than others. Fair play is much less divisive and much more realistic. Britain, at its very best when it asserts it, continental Europe, stained with blood and vomit, at its hideous worst, every time it rejected it. The other trouble with equality is that we spend far, far too much time trying to make people equal when they're all very, very different. In the name of equality of opportunity, we make the creating of an opportunity to get into Oxbridge the litmus test for good schooling. Well, that's baloney. As Margaret Williamson, the head teacher in Death of a Nightingale, says, people prattle on about equality of opportunity, but what our kids need is just opportunity and a helping hand from us to find it. And not just kids with special needs. Equality and diversity are presented as two sides of the same coin. But where is that coin? That was where my thinking was up to. Then I had another thought. Mankind could be its own best friend or its own worst enemy in a breath of time. It wasn't inequality that fucked things up. It was our fallibility, our frailty, the fault lines in human behaviour that turned our dreams into nightmares, some you couldn't wake up from. Kindness or bullying, wisdom or folly, excellence or mediocrity, honesty or lies, principles or corruption, loyalty or betrayal, courage or cowardice, caring or indifference. There's no shortage of antonyms. I've seen them all. I would guess that you have too, and maybe can add a few more of your own. Experience the one, and your spirit soar. Witness the other, and weep for the fallen. There are some minds Wi-Fi'd into the challenges of the new millennium, and others still mired in the last. There are some who use money and power well, and others who abuse it. Money and power are the twin engines that drive our world, whether you like it or not. But it's amazing how irresponsible some people can be in handling money that is not their own, and power that has come one way or another into their hands. And for every humane act, there is another that lacks all humanity. Read history and mourn the dead. Next time, I'll show you how equality has dumbed down education. As we enter the 21st century, our world is changing beyond all recognition, and you need to be ready for it. The politics of the 19th and 20th century are now well past their sell-by dates. Death of a Nightingale tells a human story with a challenging interplay of fact, fiction, satire and commentary. It's an expose of political folly and ineptitude in education. It now takes in the 2008 credit crunch with more startling revelations about the gross abuse of power. It explains why so many hopes have been betrayed. But it also opens up a new line of travel. If you're a serious student of politics, I invite you to get hold of a copy.